Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is Rayesa Gheewala, the Muslim divorce coach. And today's episode of Weekly Wisdom is all about marriage in terms of is every marriage viable? Maybe, maybe not. But every marriage does have a purpose. I'm here on Instagram and I'm also here in my Facebook group live with both of you guys. So let's start. So have you ever been so frustrated in your marriage that you thought, what's the point of this? What's the point of this marriage? Maybe divorce is the only option left for me. Have you ever felt like your spouse is the source of your frustration, your pain, and if they would just change, then everything would finally be okay? Well, I have found that there is a purpose for every marriage, whether we realize it or not, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pairs us with our spouse with deliberate wisdom and divine intention. And I found that marriage will expose every unhealed part of you, not to destroy you or to break you down, but really as an invitation to bring you back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that in Surah Rad in verse 11 that he will not change the condition of a people until they change what is within themselves. Meaning that if you want change in your marriage, if you want to experience something different other than what you are currently, it begins with you, right? So what does that mean? That means going inward and upward back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there was actually a time when my own marriage crumbled and I was devastated. I really believed that I couldn't be complete or whole without my spouse or that marriage. Actually, I remember during that time I had made dua, I was making so much dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide me which direction, how do I handle this? Which direction do I turn to? And when I made that dua, I asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you decide for me. You place me in exactly where you want me to be. And he chose separation for me because I never would have left on my own, even in dire circumstances. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here on Insta. I can't see who's live in the group right now, but welcome if you're joining. What I was talking about is that, years later, I can see the wisdom clearly because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was protecting me from a path that I didn't realize of spiritual harm and really just quietly destroying my akhirah, a path that I couldn't see at that point. What I realized is that he actually had a greater purpose for my life and even my children born through the exact parents that he assigned for them. And I remember right after my divorce in my pain, only thing I could do is blame my spouse for the breakup. And it was really clear to me and easy to see his faults because I, at that point, hadn't yet taken accountability for my role in the state of our marriage or even for my own spiritual and emotional state. And when I finally understood, what we all know, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, that there is no power or might except through Allah, that was the moment that I accepted. I surrendered to his qadr. And only then did my level of acceptance of where I was and my healing and my evolution really start to begin. And I'm sharing all of this because what I want to teach you today is that not every marriage is viable. Not every marriage is meant to be long term. Because we don't, in our faith and our tradition, we don't have that that marriage is forever. That if that's the way it's meant to be for your marriage, then that's the way it's meant to be. But there is a greater purpose beyond the marriage, and that's what we're here to explore, right? Like every single marriage has a purpose. So some marriages are meant to teach you how to love or show you how to be patient or teach you boundaries or even be able to tap into your resilience. Some are meant to show you that you're not supposed to be seeking validation externally from people. and some are really there as a driver to help bring you back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the ultimate source of everything, including love, safety, security, comfort. And some marriages are really meant to be that, that in between, that bridge that leads you towards emotional healing, spiritual awakening, and to be able to really, really deeply have self accountability in a ways that you haven't known before. And also, a partnership rooted in the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, marriage, let's look at it this way, marriage um, is actually a mirror, right? It's not the end all be all or the solution, right? Because your spouse is not causing your feelings. Your emotions don't come from outside of you. They come from the stories, the expectations, the wounds, and the beliefs in your own hearts. Your feelings are coming from your thoughts. And this is why you can have two women that experience the same situation and respond completely differently. Because your triggers are actually messages from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, signals that bring your heart back towards Him. And I spoke extensively about this in the last weekly wisdom, where I talked about insight and having your heart attached to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and what He is directing you or guiding you to. So let's look at it this way. Marriage is actually a container where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows you through your spouse what needs healing for you, what needs releasing, what needs understanding, what needs surrender, what needs forgiveness for you, for your spouse, and what needs strengthening. Because it's not a punishment, it's not a failure, and it's an invitation, it's an opportunity. So being married and maybe not being married, being divorced, or being widowed, whatever that is, it's not a punishment. There was a purpose for that marriage. And it's when you go inward and upward to connect back to yourself and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is where you can understand, you could read your story, why things went the way they did, why you made the choices that you made, how did you end up here? And meaning, like, there's lots of circumstances that are out of our control, but we are responsible for our decisions and our choices. So let's move forward a little bit to see, like, what can you do about this? How can you approach this, right? So you can ask yourself this really important question: why am I in this marriage? Like, really go inward, like take that time of solitude to check in with yourself. Like, why am I in this marriage? What's the purpose of it? Like, what purpose is it serving me? Like, why am I in here? Like, be so radically honest with yourself, because there's nowhere to hide. You can't lie to you can lie to yourself, but it only lasts for so long until the truth cracks through. Right? So check in and ask yourself, what's the purpose of this marriage for me? Is it for the sake of Allah? Is it out of fear of not wanting to start over? Or is it out of pressure from culture and family? Is it, the need of wanting to feel loved, valued, validated, secure? Is it because you don't want to be seen as the one who gave up? Is it for your kids? Like, right? And so it's going back to your intention, your niyyah. That is what's going to shape your approach or how you're experiencing your marriage. Because if your intention is, I'm here to receive from my spouse what I'm missing inside, I'm here to get, you are going to suffer. Like, it's just how it works. Meaning, because they're understanding what the purpose of marriage is based on our intention. So if your intention is, I'm here to get from my spouse what I'm missing inside, then suffering will come. But if your intention is, I'm here seeking the pleasure of Allah, to know Allah, to experience Him, you will receive, number one. Number two is, you will grow, you will expand, you will rise. And because that's what it's about. Marriage is not about getting or taking, it's about becoming. And that starts with giving and receiving. Yes, you give and you receive. And what I've noticed is that a lot of us, we don't have problems with giving. We give and give and give and give and give and give and give until we're depleted and burnt out. We have a lot of issues with the receiving. We don't know how to receive. We don't even know how to recognize when we're being given, right? But it starts with the intention of giving first, and this is where I see a lot of women go wrong. It's like they say they give and gave and gave and gave until there's nothing else left to give. They're depleted and they're burnt out. And when I ask, why did you do that? They said, because I thought I had to, I was supposed to, I wanted to be a good wife. Okay, well, anytime we give, if it's for other than the sake of Allah, there will be disappointments, there will be hurt, you're approaching the situation from a beggar mindset or a needy mindset. Like, I need something from you, this is why I'm doing it, I need to be appreciated, I need to be, and I'm not saying we all love to be appreciated, and that is part of a healthy marriage. However, we don't do and show up and give and serve for getting something like validation or approval, right? Because when you give, you will get, right? Because how we receive is based on how we are sincerely giving. So is our intention sincerely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because marriage is actually an institution, okay? And which is designed for spiritual growth, for emotional maturity, for character development, for learning and experiencing mercy, patience, love, for building a family structure and unit, raising children with a solid, secure grounding and faith. And actually, marriage is the backbone of society. When you have healthy, functioning families, society works well, society thrives, right? But marriage is not designed to meet every emotional need that you have. If you expect your spouse to fix you or to complete you, you're going to lose yourself, because yourself is dependent on how your spouse is showing up, right? So understanding that your emotional state is your responsibility, your self-worth is your responsibility, your healing is your responsibility. It comes from inside, because no one can make you feel anything, and no one can take your feelings away. You can't make anyone else feel anything, because that inner work, that inner state, is actually between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how do you know if your marriage is viable? I'm going to answer that. It's by going inward. It's by asking, who am I in this marriage? Who does Allah want me to become? What is the situation trying to show me? Is my marriage aligned with my purpose? Do I even know what my purpose is? Is my intention for the sake of Allah or for something else? Because the truth is that you cannot evaluate or assess your marriage until you assess your own state within it, right? It starts with you first. Your marriage is an institution. It is a partnership between two people for the sake of Allah, right? You are separate than your marriage. Yes, you participate in it, you contribute to it, with a dynamic, but your marriage is not you. You are a human soul. So starting first with your internal state, okay? Because clarity comes after you are in alignment internally, not before. So clarity does not also going to come from someone telling you what to do or what you should be doing. And it's not from gathering opinions from everybody all around you, right? Clarity comes directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when your heart is ready to see spiritually. So bringing this all together, knowing that your triggers are not proof that your marriage is failing. They're proof that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking to you through your emotions, through your feelings that are coming up or that are being triggered by your spouse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is actually using your spouse to bring things up within you that need attention, that need focus, that need starting with you coming back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a deeper way. And emotions are not burdens, they're actually invitations. We call them love letters. And the purpose of your marriage may be so much more bigger and deeper and more transformative than you're seeing at the moment, right? Because a lot of times when we're so focused on the pain and the anguish and the discomfort, we just have tunnel vision, and it looks like someone else is causing those feelings and is causing the problems. However, that's not the case. So if you're ready for support, to explore the purpose of your marriage, if you're serious about receiving clarity rooted in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rather than your fears or your traumas, if you're serious and committed to stop living in reactivity and start seeing through a spiritual lens, I want you to reach out to me with the word purpose. And let's connect, and I'll personally walk you through an exploration to see what may be unfolding in your marriage and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is guiding you towards.